Afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I hope you had a wonderful panel session and lunch too.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
So, this session is going to be fun. It's a podcast we are doing with all of you with brilliant minds. And let me tell you, the name of this session is Beyond the Boardroom Leadership Lessons from the Top. All right. So, welcome to the Leadership Beyond Business. So, I'm Madhushree Dutta, founder and CEO of Brand Talk. In this series, we'll explore the human stories, the challenges, and the future visions of our industry leaders. And we promise to keep it light-hearted and engaging because, after all, who said leadership can't be fun? Yeah, so let's dive in. We have with us Mr. Shridhar, a visionary leader at Hiranandani Group, Mr. Sachin Tagra, the strategic mind behind JSW Ventures, Ganesh KC, the financial stalwart at Pratithi Investments, and Sree Priya, a pioneer in family office services at Entrust Family Office. So let's begin. So we'll start with this round one, where we are reflecting on successes and offering services. So my first question would be, all right, now that we are all warmed up and you know that we are ready for a ride, let's get the heart of our conversation today. So let's get very, very candid as far as this round is concerned. Either your recent expansion into Chennai with the Greenfield Industrial Park is a massive leap forward.
Green base.
Sorry. In hindsight, would you have approached any part of this journey differently?
I would say no. I think it was more or less like sequentially planned. But the growth in this business, especially if you look at infrastructure as a business model, comes in spurts. And so you have to look at the time and the appropriate asset availability and acquisition that's available. So in short, I wouldn't have done it differently, but maybe the timing could have been a little bit altered. I could have had it a little bit more earlier. It would have done much better for me.
Okay.
And hindsight is not an exact science. So you see, end of the day, you always like finish off some task and then you think, if I had done it the other way, probably I would have made a better IRR or a better NPV, or I would have got better leverage out of the whole thing. So it's something like that. So I think I just completed the entire first phase of my Chennai expansion in Tamil Nadu. And from a need perspective, I thought this expansion and further dive of putting in another couple of thousand crores and growing my infrastructure business in Chennai was probably right. And it's paid off and it's going to pay off going forward in future.
I'm sure. So you think the timing could have been a little earlier?
Timing could have been a little earlier because I got a large customer base waiting for me, because I've exceeded my expectations in terms of building a brand with the customer. In terms of,
right.
I started off this business with Blackstone saying that instead of approaching it from a fund-based business, I would approach it as a development-based business. And customer delight would have been my mantra rather than saying I'll just make money or IRRs.
Lovely. So what's the key advice would you offer budding leaders as they pursue their own ambitious projects?
Be focused. I think you can always substitute intelligence by hard work, because what's the worst case? Hard work, you fail once, you fail twice, third time you're better than the intelligent guy doing it the first time.
Wow.
So that's what I would say.
That's a brilliant takeaway.
And nowadays, though, I even recommend that as a topmost attribute that you need to be successful. A hardworking person maybe will be delayed, but he will definitely become a successful person.
Wow.
But an intelligent guy 50% of them can skimp on the way.
Wow, amazing. Thank you so much for that insight. Moving on to Sachin. So, JSW Ventures investment in Kioskin is reshaping dermatology. Reflecting on this success, is there any decision you'd approach differently?
No, I think we are going on a right track. Though this consumer business also involves a lot of investment in marketing. I think
Thank you.
now we are at that stage that we can start investing in brand building.
Hire us.
So to me, for consumer business, investing for larger outcomes, you need to be in that phase for a longer period of time. So I think we have now got that right, and we will invest in that brand.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Nice. So, what key advice would you offer aspiring venture capitalists and tech innovators aiming to leave their marks? Anything in particular, key takeaway for them?
Not so enterprising or people who are getting into the VC space. It's a very long-term, patient game.
Correct.
If you're looking for a quick buck, it may not happen in this space. You have to be really thinking 8-10 years down the line to make money. Now, when I see new fund managers coming in, young guys coming in, doing micro VC funds, I think that's a bit of a challenge. Most of them have got into the sort of a momentum-based investing because we've seen it last 3-4 years.
Yeah.
So I would suggest them go back to the fundamentals and look for a 10-year horizon to make money rather than a 3-4 years of horizon.
Oh, okay, lovely. Thank you so much. Moving on to Ganesh. So, Bluestone's recent funding that you've done round has set the stage for its IPO. Looking back, is there anything you would have approached differently here in the deal?
Okay. So, I would say, we've been lucky to get a lot of these opportunities coming our way because we don't chase deals. So, when this came by, we did our diligence and we found a lot of things which ticked the boxes, right? From the understanding of the whole market space by the entrepreneur, and what's stopping him from scaling, right? And what how he knows that how the unit economics work.
Sure.
Right? And those gave us a lot of confidence. So I don't think I would have changed anything. And I would also say that we also when we looked at it, there are similar opportunities which we could have invested at that point in time, which we didn't. But because
Any particular reason? Or
we don't chase deals, right? If it comes and if it comes at the right valuation, right?
So you cherry pick it as per your...
Yeah. But we keep having conversations. It's not that we are going to miss out because they will anyway raise money in the next round, or even after that IPO, right? We want companies to go beyond and run. Live
We have to
for
go
100
beyond
years,
the
right?
early stage and go to
Yeah,
growth.
so you play the 100-year equity story of that company. Right?
True.
It's a very interesting case study, Bluestone.
I know.
What a turnaround story. This was the business which was about to get shut
I know.
4-5 years ago,
Yes.
and the way it turned around.
And
I
nobody
think it's-
really knew about the brand that well. It
That's-
underplayed, or I
Just
don't
to
know.
add to that, the reason why it was going through was because of the guys on the cap table also having a peer pressure, right? You had people who were cash burning, and I don't want to name, but there were brands who were actually doing much faster burn and growing faster. And then you have phenomenal pressure on the entrepreneur, right? Should I do the same thing or should I do?
Chase profitability.
Chase profit.
That's a key challenge if you see in today's context. A lot of these companies, even I have one or a couple of them, where the peer pressure in terms of either chasing and growth or chasing profitability. And then it becomes a big equation and the composition of the investor sitting on the board and their mindset. So as you rightly said, it's all about the time that you get in and how the entrepreneur or the ecosystem is convenient and comfortable with you. And if you understand, like look at Lenskart, and I was looking at Meenakshi Sundaram and TCM, and then he was talking about how the guy was at a threshold where he said, should I go for this or leverage more? It was the investors who told him go ahead and do it. So that was the comfort that he got.
Sure.
So it makes a huge impact as to who the investor is in turning around the corner. And I think that's probably what
and
helped Bloom
just
start.
to add this, what I would, so even in Lenskart, so we are investors in Lenskart, which are directly as well. The point is that the growth story is much higher, right? So whether I got it when it was just in the early stage or not, I can pay the IPO story, and it's next 25 years of the equity story, right?
Correct.
The entire market, they've just scratched the surface.
Yeah,
And it's global market as well.
True.
So you have advantage.
So,
which you can-
my next question here would be that for those entering the investment world today, what would be your way to them in terms of advisory to overcome challenges in reaching their goals? I'm sure everybody would go through their own cyclical, business cycles. But for this space that you're operating, the kind of deals that you're cherry picking, what's your advice to them?
Advice to whom?
To the guys that you're exploring and
Entrepreneurs or the investors?
entrepreneurs.
Entrepreneurs. It would be unfair, right, for a fund manager to advise entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah, but I'm sure they could
I'm
do
just-
something right, which you would,
So we look at certain things, and each fund manager looks at certain different things. So we do not too much. We trust. We look at the numbers. We look at certain metrics, KPIs, etc. What works for us. Whether the entrepreneur knows the whole TAM, entrepreneur knows how to do it, and we are just providing capital for it, right? Mostly capital. We can help them getting the right advice or open doors for them a little bit through our network. But that's it, right? Finally, he has to deliver. Added to the hard work. Most important thing is the value system. Right?
Sure.
Value systems go beyond money.
I'm sure.
And there will be business cycles.
Yeah, there
The
will
most
be.
important
Yeah.
thing in the value system is that's something which we do some diligence in. So, for example, in the investment which we did, we took a lot of time. We took 2 years to invest, but we have invested now. One of the things which we came back was an employee feedback, who said that he was working with the company was going through bad times. So he had to quit due to personal reasons. The company came after 3 years and gave the bonus which was due to him.
Ooh, very
He was
rare.
working in another company,
Very, very rare.
right?
Yeah.
So that
That
gives you a
shows the
lot of
value.
confidence,
Correct.
saying that, okay, this is the value system I want back, right? This is next 50-year story.
Super.
You build leadership where you want to say, I hold to my word. It's not what is written in the legal document.
True.
My word I check with.
Wow, that's brilliant. Moving on to Shri Priya. Finally, coming to you, the personalized approach that you have adopted rather for ultra high net worth clients, it's remarkable, which we all know. I mean, I saw from where the AUM came in, how you have kind of multiplied. Is there any particular strategy that you would like to further improvise to take this and reach the next milestone?
Okay, so we have grown in a very organic way till now. It's purely based on relationships, which Raj Mohan, the founder, myself, and few other colleagues of ours have, and which we kind of developed and now become a part of their family, like a family office now. So the way to scale is only by acquiring new talent, which is the most difficult in our business.
And
So-
people who would stay.
stay. So the
Clients have
right
become
talent-
smart. They don't move now.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, clients are still okay to move with the right person. That's what the whole industry
Yeah.
is facing.
Yeah.
When RM moves from one bank to another, the money moves.
Family moves.
Yeah.
But hardly few percentage. I don't think holistically he is able to move the entire portfolio.
No, actually,
Is
the
it?
numbers statistics will tell you that when the RM moves, the money completely kind of moves.
Yeah.
Unless you have a strong banking relationship with
My
assets.
man moved from Stanchart to HDFC to DBS. He moved my money and finally I put a stop to it saying, you go wherever you want.
I should have such clients.
No, because what happens, most of the clients, it's more personalized, right? So
Yeah.
she's not going to meet all the clients, so she's going to get her manager to meet some client and manager.
Yeah.
So we are at a stage where we are at a cusp. We right now have a direct relation with every client.
Great.
But if we have to scale, we obviously have to go to
Correct.
talent search and
Correct.
hire RMs from the market, where again this could be a possibility. But the difference from the normal distributor or the banks and the wealth managers and us would be we act as an advisor and a family office custodian. So the money can still continue with the wealth managers. We can come as a super advisor,
Got it.
advising them. So we are not a competition to the wealth managers to that
Yeah.
sense.
Okay.
So the money can
That-
continue with 2 or 3 wealth managers because typically every client who has got 100 crores or 200 crores would already have
Correct.
existing banking relationships or
Sure.
private banking arrangements, right? So we do not we do not shake it as such. We will slowly, make a system, make a process in place. As I said, the investment policy framework and everything, and then gradually advise the investment process. And then if there is a merit in any direct investment, which we are catering to other family office clients, then the money gets allocated to us directly. Otherwise, we just remain as advisory
body.
and they can manage their money through their wealth management.
Oh, nice.
So like what we have done in the family office exactly, we have one guy consolidating all the wealth,
Yeah.
but we have 3 different wealth managers out of say 400 crores to 300 crores, and then and then we have our internal family office, very bare minimum team, so something that we manage, but we are single family office. So we are
And
able
with
to do it.
multi-families, there's a
Whereas
difference.
they are doing a multi-family office, I think what she's suggesting makes
Yeah.
a lot of sense in
Yeah.
terms of as a product and service.
What advice would you give young professionals, in wealth management today, especially in the family office space, aiming to succeed in the challenging field? Because see, there are a lot of challenges we've seen. Like when I started my banking career way back in 2002, things are very different. We were stable. I would say the annuity income was more.
Yes.
Things today have been cut down. A lot of things. So people are also operating in an ecosystem which is very, very insecure for the person as well. So is there a way that these things could be taken care of? What is your advice for them?
So the advice for the young professionals who want to aspire to be a family office manager is to stay in relationships, stay in touch with every client of yours. You never know which client would need you at what point of time. So the biggest thing is you have been a private banker as well. So staying in touch with the clients is most important. Discipline.
Yeah.
again, even if you're not managing the money, you would have to still, show up, meet them, greet them for any event.
And I
occasion.
also agree what
And
Shridhar said, the
discipline, yeah.
customer delight.
Yeah.
That it's always not about transactional business, what
Yes.
you can do over and above
Yeah.
that, you know. So, great.
So we have had cases where the money is not, we don't directly manage the client's money, but he or she has referred his other clients. That also shows a kind of a,
Correct.
yeah. For
Great.
some reasons, they don't want to directly manage the money, but they have given us references, which has given us new
Nice.
relationship. Yeah.
So with this, we conclude the session 1. Now let's shift the gears and talk about something that we are all here for. The Alternative Investments and Sustainable Lifestyle event, which is AISL. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on how you think AISL can help bridge the gap between product, service demand and reaching the right audience. My question to Shridhar here would be that the gestation period of client acquisition, usually in the real estate sector, is also known to be quite long and costly. So how do you think AISL could create valuable business opportunities that could cut down the timeline, connect sooner with the right stakeholders, and perhaps leading to further reduction of cost?
See, AISL as a platform or as an ecosystem, getting people together is one aspect. Second is if you follow it through with a intelligent or a workflow driven
Correct.
connectivity for the right stakeholder. Example, if you take the real estate developer, either he is in the asset class of residential or commercial or something. For commercial, you have got all the property placement guys like JLL, Colliers, etc. So AISL has to from here graduate to more creating a connectivity or ecosystem. From there you can start benefiting because those connections
From transactions.
will
and
transactions will
supporting.
manifest out of them. So you really need not be a magic bricks to sell homes, but you need to be a connector.
And build the
So
relationship
build
for
a
them.
platform.
Yeah.
So the platform then takes a fee based on whatever you connections have progressively materialized. So it becomes a very intuitively an accelerator come a ecosystem kind of a platform
And
for
it's
you.
also an impetus for us.
Better. So then if it generates in the real estate side, so be it. If it generates in the startup side, so be it. And if you are able to get a good startup connected with a good fund,
That is
and
what we're
he's ready
trying to do. Yes.
invest, so you are actually helping him as an accelerator.
True.
But in center of all of this is the connector.
Correct.
So you play the role of the connector.
Great. Do you think
That's what I foresee.
Absolutely,
based
and
on
that is all what we are
what I
aiming
thought.
aiming for.
Do the plumbing work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
MP, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. All the three they are very critical for the assets.
So, do you think the sustainability angle, Shridhar, here of AISL can help you tap into more targeted clientele who could look for eco-friendly
Absolutely.
and innovative real estate sectors?
I think it's absolutely because the need of the hour is people are going to do things which are going to be sustainable.
Correct.
Whether it's even a profitable business or a non-profitable business or a daily use business or a consumer business.
Correct.
People are finding ways and means to do things or business and still make money in a sustainable manner.
Correct.
So, and more importantly, now it is not an individual choice. As time goes by, in the next 10 years, I think there will be a huge mindset change, and there will be also regulations and compliances which will make you start thinking like that.
Correct.
End of the day, if you are a democratic country, you are also a little indisciplined, right?
And even the economy is also moving so circular. So, I think.
So we have to all get our minds together to say, no, I really want to contribute. Right now we say, मेरे घर में कचरा नहीं होना चाहिए. We can give it out. Like, the wet and the dry waste, that collection, it is a big hue and cry in all cities.
True.
So whereas if you start at your home, that means now that stage is over. So I think now globally and more India specific, and given the kind of targets that each country is taking, there will be a huge amount of political influence,
Absolutely.
will of the government, and more culturally that people will have to attune to the new way of life.
True.
So I think sustainability will be great, and you guys can help by actually doing more such events around climate action and sustainability to bring about a cultural and mindset change. That itself will
We
be a
note that.
great progressive thing, and you can actually showcase yourself saying that I'm chasing this.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Moving on to Sachin. So, Sachin, venture capital is all about spotting the right opportunity at the right time. How do you think AISL platforms can enhance deal flows by introducing you to startups that align with your investment strategy? I think it's kind of overlapping, but still I would like to hear from you. Do you advise us to take this up as a focus session?
There are two parts to the startup business. One is identification. Second is, closing a deal and working.
Evaluation.
Evaluation and working with them. I think you can play a part in the top of the funnel.
It's identifying
Identifying with the strategies or the focus area which we have with the potential startups in that space. Today's event was, I didn't see too many startups. But I
You'll see
think
a lot of guys coming in the evening.
Yes,
You have
so maybe-
Rapido and all
yes.
coming in.
Maybe that is the second stage of evolution of
Correct.
this platform.
Correct.
That you also have events around some focus areas, and startups are invited in that.
Absolutely. No, we do have, like I said, in the evening you'll see a couple of startups also being a part of the forum. Now, with AISL attracting global leaders again in sustainability, do you see this is a way to drive innovation that add long-term value to your portfolio companies?
Yeah, surely. Every company which we invest we have a checklist of identifying whether they are sustainable or not. Now, most of the times we don't see that checklist getting tick marks.
Acha.
So then what we do is we work with the founders to ensure that they become sustainable over a period of time if they're not sustainable today. So that is one focus area we have.
Okay.
So in the portfolio company, how do they become sustainable is an opportunity.
Is an opportunity.
For most of these startups.
Great. So, Ganesh, in the investment world, high gestation period can make scaling businesses a daunting task. How do you think AISL can help expedite this process by connecting you with the right high potential growth opportunities in your market?
For our investments. Yeah, there is enough and more, right? So we have huge mortality rate between a Series A and a Series B, and even between pre-Series A and Series A. So there is huge opportunity to not reinvent the wheel for each of the startup, right? So if you can create templates, if you can create certain platforms which people can leverage, offer a fee.
Anything that you have in mind particularly
market
that you'd
access, right? Market access for each of these. So it depends on which sectors you want to do. You could probably take
we could look at sector agnostic.
one or two to start with, go deep and help those startups in those areas to reach the TAM which they want.
Sure.
Right? How do you do that, right? At a cost which they can afford, right?
Sure.
You can probably take equity risk. You don't want cash, right? So, and they might be okay.
No, I have
We
just
that-
said that you're right actually. The Reality Next by Kritika.
Okay.
I was part of the jury where I was evaluating some. They boiled it.
Anurag Batras.
40 startups to 10 and then 12, and then we selected
Uh-huh.
3 or 4
Uh-huh.
out of that. So they curated the whole thing.
I'm not promoting this, huh?
So you can do something like that.
Sure.
But then you can also build an ecosystem by inviting whether he's like into deep tech or he'll be doing he's more favorable aligned to tech, some will be agnostic to tech. So build an ecosystem where you have funds and then you do a matchmaking. And then you do a little bit of curating over and above the identification that Sachin mentioned. And then be able to put it together. Because that kind of platform is what the startup will be looking at.
Sure. We'll take that.
Matchmaking is very important.
Absolutely.
The connector and
True.
connects the investor and the
True.
Wealth manager clearly understands it perfectly.
Absolutely. So, Priya, managing UHNI is involved curating a fine balance between maintaining trust, like you mentioned, and delivering new opportunities. How do you see AISL playing a role in introducing the right audience to your services, particularly, especially when the gestation period for acquisition of such clients, we know sometimes the biggest of the fishes are the most toughest.
Yes.
They give you business long term,
Absolutely.
but the cost is also very high in terms of your people and acumen and everything. So how do you see us helping you there?
Again, ASL can be a great connector. These events actually bring entrepreneurs.
I sound like a
and the
marriage broker.
Investment opportunities. See, and like you rightly said, our gestation period is very long. So today an entrepreneur may be a startup entrepreneur, but 5 years down the line, 7 years down the line, when he's getting the exit and when he's got the fortune, he would know that he could recollect that there is a concept of multi-family office who can manage.
True.
Though I don't have a 2,000 or a 10,000 crore where I need to set up an office, I can approach a multi-family office even when I have 50, 100 crores.
Sure.
So that makes their life easy. They don't have to worry about, what do I do? Because today the problem of having too much of wealth is also like, regulators, the compliance aspect,
True.
tax liabilities. All these are
I
headache.
also see this as an opportunity here because today, unlike in the Western countries where the wealth is consolidated, they are not allocating. India being again the next gen business, the next 10 to 12 years, we're seeing people flushed with funds,
Correct.
more open. We are all at an allocation phase
Yeah.
rather than consolidation.
Yes.
So I think platforms that give that kind of flexibility, comfort, and they feel at home,
These
they
kind
are the
of-
ones who are the one here to stay.
Correct, correct.
Because ultimately, even from a customer point of view, they don't want to have 10, 15 bankers. It's too much to manage their portfolios.
Yeah.
They are also in the process of consolidating.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
So
AISL kind of platform can also help in bringing the best practices
Yeah.
in each of the family offices. So that'll also.
thank you for the insights. So as we wrap up, thank you for sharing your insights, wisdom, and of course we had a little share of laugh also in between. So your stories are truly inspiring, I must say, and we're really honored to have all of you here today in AISL. Thank you for
you.
taking that time.
Thank you for inviting
Before
us.
we finish, let's take a group photograph to capture this moment of collaboration and growth. And we look forward to working with you guys also in future and appreciate your participation. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madhushree.